Press-ups are one of the best exercises for those of you that are new to resistance training, but they're also one of the most misunderstood. If you're in your 30s or 40s and you've ever thought, I just can't do a press-up, then this video is for you. I'll show you why press-ups are great for you as a beginner, how to get your first full press-up with some simple progressions, and some of the most important technique tips to nail it every time. My name's Alvin, I'm a fitness coach based in Bristol in the UK, and I know how overwhelming getting started with resistance training can be. There are thousands of exercises and hundreds of different bits of kit, which makes choosing where to start really difficult. The thing is, one of the most simple exercises and one of the best for you to get started with is right under your nose. The humble press-up is great for building strength in your chest, your shoulders, your arms and your core, giving you a great foundation for more complicated exercises further down the line. And the best part, there doesn't need to be any equipment involved. Wherever you are, you can complete a press-up variation. There's no waiting for kit at the gym or searching online to buy some fancy piece of equipment you'll only use once. You can just drop down and give me 20. You don't actually have to do 20. Whew. Sometimes when I get started with a new client and I drop these into their program, their instant reaction might be something like, I can't do press-ups. I've never been able to do press-ups. They don't really see it as a beginner's exercise, but there are loads of ways to scale press-ups up or down to fit your fitness level. So later on in this video, I'm going to share some variations that will help you if you can't currently do a full press-up. Let's get into the technique for this exercise then. First of all, you're going to get into a straight arm plank position with your hands just outside shoulder width, with your thumbs roughly in line with your chest. Brace through your core, drawing your belly button in towards your spine. Lower yourself down, slow and controlled, elbows above your wrists until your chest touches the floor, then drive back up again to return to that top position. Now, when you do start practicing these, there are a few things that you'll want to watch out for, but before we get to those, if you find this video helpful at all, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'll be making more videos to help you start regaining confidence, not just in how your body looks, but what you can do with it. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Now, some things to be mindful of if you really want to nail your press-ups. Firstly, hand position. You want to place your hands underneath your shoulders when you're in your starting position in that straight arm plank. If you have your hands too far forward or too wide, you're going to make it much more challenging for yourself. And the further your hands are from under your shoulders, the harder it's going to be to maintain your core stability and a neutral spine. Which brings me on to my next point, hip position. You want to avoid letting your hips sink too deep or sticking your ass too high up in the air. You want to try to maintain a straight line with your body, squeezing your core and squeezing your glutes, and you aim to have your chest and hips touch the floor at roughly the same time. Think of the press up as a moving plank. You want to stay solid, maintaining a neutral spine all the way from top to bottom. And that's why I keep talking about plank position when you're at the top of the movement. Save your downward dogs for when you're doing yoga. Lastly, elbow position. Lots of people end up in a T position when they do a press up with their elbows flaring and twisting all over the place. And not only will this make you weaker and more unstable, but over time, it might also cause you some shoulder problems too. So aim to have your elbows in more of an arrow position at 30 to 45 degrees from your side. You'll feel less like your shoulders about to pop out, and you'll feel much stronger and much more stable in that position. And if you nail all of that, your press-ups will look pretty good. And then you can just go ahead and repeat that for 5 to 10 reps for 3 total sets. The key here is quality rather than quantity. I'd much rather you do 5 great press-ups than you do 20 shoddy ones. Focus on your technique first, even if it means starting with one of the variations that I'm going to get into next. As I mentioned earlier, the press-up is great because it's scalable. So if you tried the full press-up I just showed you and you hit the floor and you never move, don't give up. Here are some ways you can get started. First off, when you raise your hands up off the floor for a press-up, you're reducing the amount of body weight that you're lifting, making the movement less challenging. So incline press-ups can be a great way to get to grips with the movement while building the strength and core stability you need to approach press-ups on the floor. You can use a bench, a box, your bed, a couple of chairs, whatever you've got access to, but whatever it is, just make sure it's sturdy and isn't going to go anywhere when you go to push away from it. And by the way, if you've got access to a fixed bar or a Smith's machine, then you can easily set this up at a height that works for you. Once you've got a setup that works, the same rules apply here as I mentioned earlier. So maintain a nice strong core, lower yourself down in a controlled way, and drive yourself up forcefully. The best thing about these is they're great in terms of progress. As you start to get stronger, you can just simply reduce the height of the surface you chose or move to another that's lower, and that instantly increases the challenge. challenge. The second thing you can try if you can't do a full press up yet is try something called an eccentric or negative press up. In this version, you start in that top position, that straight arm plank position, and you lower yourself slowly to the floor. From there, you can get back to the top however makes most sense to you, whether that's pulling yourself up on your knees or crawling back up onto all fours. However you need to get back to the top, just do that and then repeat. The negative press up will help you build strength, improve your core control and technique, and will steadily get you to the point where you can do a full press up. And that's especially true if you combine them with incline press ups, but pick the variation that most suits you and just start getting that practice in. So the press up is often overlooked, but it's the perfect exercise to build your upper body and core strength. You can do it anywhere, it doesn't need any equipment, and is easy to progress. And listen, everyone's got to start somewhere, so don't stress if you're not banging out full press ups yet. Don't let that dissuade you from giving them a go. Again, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you've got any questions or there's something you need help with, leave them in the comments. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, thanks for watching and I'll catch you later.